comprehensive ban on fossil fuel extraction, disposal, and associated industrial waste in Colorado history. We passed that measure in 2013 with a vote of 60% of our population. But I'm actually not here to talk to you about the Lafayette Community Bill of Rights, which ended fossil fuel development in Lafayette. I had an absolutely bizarre experience this morning because on top of fighting the oil and gas industry on the Front Range, I'm also running for Congressional District 2 on the Green Party ticket. And so I was lucky enough to get interviewed by the AFL-CIO leaders this morning, which is the leaders of all the union organizations in Colorado. And well, I rocked the interview, so I'm really happy with that because I'm from Chicago and I have a great union background. But interestingly enough, I was on my way out of the interview, and standing there in the hallway was Senator Michael Bennet. You know this dude? So Senator Bennet is the same senator that just did a video for the Western Colorado Oil and Gas Association promoting the project that would take fracked natural gas and ship it via pipeline all the way to Jordan Cove, Oregon. And so it was a very mixed little moment for myself to run into our senator there. And, you know, leaving a meeting of a bunch of union leaders, you know, I walked up to him and I said, wow, you're Senator Bennet. And he said, yes. And I said, well, I'm Cliff Wilming from Lafayette. And he said, well, you know, he's trying to make small talk. So he said, well, did you warm him up for me? And I said, well, you know, really, if you want to speak as a representative of the working class, you should probably just get in the workforce and have your ass kicked for about 25 years, and that might buy you some additional authority. And I said, but, you know, on top of that, I've also been a labor activist for about 20 years too, but I'm sure you're going to do great. I'm sure you're going to do great. And then I thought about walking out of the office, and I stopped, and I turned around and I said, you know, Senator, I know about that video that you made on behalf of the oil and gas industry in support of the Jordan Cove project. And I've been out to Oregon, and I know the people that are going to be impacted and harmed by that project. I know people that are going to have pipelines put through their land to make sure that the natural gas can get to market in China, obviously creating greater global warming and hazards all the way across the board. And I said I thought that video was extremely poor taste and did not represent the environment or people in any realistic fashion. And as you can imagine, the conversation got very tense at that moment. So I continued. You know, because what he said was, well, you know, this project is good for Western Colorado. And I said, well, no, it's not actually good for Western Colorado itself. Otherwise, Western Colorado would have been representing itself. He said, well, you should see the employment rates of Delta, Colorado. And I said, yeah, you know what I wanted you to know about is I said that the oil and gas workers that are going to be pulling up that shale suffer a fatality rate of 7 times the national average. In other words, every time a worker in this country dies, 7 oil and gas workers die. And that's right on the job. That is not prolonged impacts from working in those oil and gas fields. That's not the cancer that they're going to have. That's not the endocrine disruptors that they're bringing home to their family. And I said, so, you know, if you want to talk about representation, you don't care about those workers. I said, you know who's never going to get a 700% fatality rate outside of the national average? The CEOs that you're actually supporting by those talking about the LNG terminal in Jordan Cove. And then, well, then I said, have a nice day, because I'm that kind of guy. But, you know, I think that what I want to kind of talk just very briefly about is the fact that a lot of these elected representatives feel an enormous sense of insulation from the harms of these industries and from the people that are here today. I was at work yesterday. I'm a registered nurse, so I was not able this week to go to the civil disobedience that took place. But I think that after the Supreme Court decision, I think we have full moral authority to start breaking the rules and start supporting our environment and fighting for the working class people that these industries harm. So anyway, thank you all for coming out, and I just wanted to share that story and keep the fight real.